I'm going to start to give this some shape. Once the walls are thinner, they're much more open to bending and moving. So I'm going to come on the inside here and start to gently swoop my fingers outward. My outside fingers aren't doing too much. They're just offering a little support to the wall. I'm doing like a very slow scooping motion from the inside. You may try playing around a little bit with the position of your fingers. I'm going to bring my inside fingers upward to kind of lay that clay outward on my outside fingers. I've started to create this little pot shape here. If you wanted to bring your piece more narrow, you can come on the outside with plenty of water. Start to cup it gently. I'm going to put a bit more pressure here in my pointer fingers and bring that opening really nice and close and narrow. I'm just changing the shape. The clay does like to move for a good amount of time, so here you can always change and decide that you want the rim to come back in and totally change the look of the piece. Here I'm kind of hooking underneath to give a little bit of lift. We've got this wooden tool. It's got a nice curve and a straight line to it. I'm going to use this curve and bring it into the piece, using it very similar to how I was shaping with my hand earlier. But now I'm also going to push the clay to the tool here from the outside so that I'm fully capturing the shape of that tool. This tool can be really great for cleaning up the shape of your piece. Sometimes your hands and fingers just don't give you the nice smooth roundness or shaping that you're after. And this can be a great way to guide it a little more towards what you would like. You can use it on the outside as well. And I also like to use this tool to just begin to clean up and shape the base of the piece. Metal rib that's flexible. This one is great for smoothing the outside. Come along and get in all of your parts of your shape, smoothing that surface. There's a couple little corners to this tool that I occasionally like to play with. You can smooth it nicely, and then you can bend this tool and add back in some nice stripes. I also like to dig this tool in a bit at the base, using those corners again to just decide where I might like to undercut and clean away a little more of this excess clay at the bottom. That clay has been very helpful all along, and ideally you would work that into the piece. But if you find you have some extra clay down there, you can come in with this little wooden knife-like tool here and cut it out. So I'm holding the tool a bit like a pencil, trying to hold it really nice and steady. I'm bringing this diagonal bit up against the piece. I'm starting to aim for that excess clay, thinking how would I like this piece to continue on if it didn't have that extra clay there. It's always good to get the wooden tools a bit wet. I also like to have a couple fingers on the inside here. Feel that base wall and make sure I'm not cutting too aggressively with this tool. You cut all the way down to the wheel, and there's a little strip of clay that's been separated, so you'll cut into that strip. Angle the tool and undercut the strip, and then work it out of there. And it's still a little bit rough down here, so you could come in and shape it a bit more and shave it slightly. You could also come in with this metal rib and do a little bit more smoothing if you like. The transition is still pretty visible there, so you could work on it some more. Come with a sponge and just make it a little bit lighter looking. The sponge is also great for the rim, and I might like to try to make this a little better down here. So I think I'm going to come in and cut it just a bit more. The shape wasn't looking so nice to me, so I'm just coming in a little more severely to make that look nicer down at the base. And then to finish up, you'll just need to wire your piece. You also want to make sure you get all of the excess water out from the inside of your piece. And then you'll stop your wheel, take the wire tool. You want to hold it nice and tight and also push it down flush as you cut all the way through nicely. And then the piece is done.